Standing in the midst of the stunning Scottish wilderness for the past 2,000 years, these mysterious stone structures are a symbol of Scotland's unique archaeological past. Known as a broch, the exact purpose of these iconic Iron Age ruins is still unknown. However, a group of experimental archaeologists believe that an ambitious project to build a broch from scratch could finally help us to better understand their past.
A broch is a huge Iron Age structure made completely of dry stone with walls 5 metres thick. We don't have a name for the tribes of people that lived here, and that's perhaps part of the mystery of what a broch was used for. The current academic thinking is that they were houses. Houses with 5 metres thick walls and 13 metres high. Still, after hundreds of years of archaeology, we're not entirely sure. We have a modern perception of what buildings are.
The most complete broch still standing is Musa broch, which can be found in Shetland.
Musa broch is the most intact broch that we have. It does, of course, have a secondary structure from a later occupation phase built inside it, but we do have a good sense of what a broch may have been in its completed form. Dry stone towers of that size, and you especially see it with Musa, it's a difficult endeavor to begin with to build one. The fact that they have lasted as long as they have, the fact that they go through several phases of occupation spanning somewhere around 1,000 years is attractive to a heritage tourist. It's difficult to prove what a broch is for on a variety of levels. I will say, however, that the preponderance of evidence that we have for broch occupation is domestic in nature. So you'll find, for instance, tools that are related to agriculture or to raising of cattle, kernstones, pottery. This is typically what is found inside a broch, rather than what some people would expect with a defensive-looking structure. There's very little weaponry that's ever found in them. But it goes also back to, and I'll quote or paraphrase Ian Armitt here, which is that the language guides the narrative in many ways. Just the labeling of a broch comes from the Old Norse word borga, which indicates that it's a fortification. So already we're thinking of something that is defensive in nature.
The Caithness Broch project is an experimental archaeological initiative aiming to build a full-scale broch from scratch using traditional methods. It is a hugely ambitious undertaking, as so little is known about these mysterious buildings.
I think it's a very adventurous idea to build a broch. It will teach us an incredible amount about how to go about building in dry stone, to build a structure so large.
In the design of our broch, we've tried to base it as much as we can on archaeological evidence.
I think what we really hope to achieve is a more thorough understanding of brochs, and how they were built might kind of play into ideas of why they were built as well. So as we go through the process of constructing a broch, then maybe we'll get a better insight into the minds of broch builders in the past as well, because there's so many unanswered questions about the Iron Age. How did Iron Age societies work? How did they kind of revolve around the brochs, or how did brochs revolve around Iron Age societies? We have done archaeological excavations at a number of broch sites across Caithness. We've done talks, we've done walks, we've done art exhibitions. We've done a huge conservation project at Owsdale Broch as well. Another really important part of this is that we wanted to make brochs fun and accessible and engaging. And we thought that Lego was a super format for that.
We hope that the building of this broch will be as much of an attraction as visiting it as a complete structure. Just like the 13th century castle that's been built, Gildeon, in France. People have been coming to that structure for years and it isn't even finished. They're coming to see it be built, not coming to visit it as a finished structure. But I think once the broch is completed and people come here to visit it as a tourist attraction, it ceases to be an experimental archaeological project and starts to become an experiential archaeological project.
These structures may be ancient, but they have proved inspirational for modern architecture. Adam Kellier had his stunning home designed to replicate the style of the Scottish broch.
We felt we wanted something that would integrate with the landscape and wouldn't look alien to the landscape. And when you look at traditional dwellings, there are very few straight lines. The vision behind it was to actually make it look as if it was an actual ruin. If we knew how challenging it would have been, we probably wouldn't have done it, because obviously we were pushing the boundaries really in terms of dry stone wall. I mean, it is a real labour of love. Each stone had to be placed in there. There's nothing regular in the way it's been built. These sorts of things that allow us to connect with the past and to understand that a lot of people have walked on this land before us, I think are very, very important. When we were looking at this place, we had an intention to build something remarkable, something quite dramatic, and the broch was foremost in my mind, so that really was the inception of the project.
I looked at a good few before I designed this one. Went to the brochs of Glenelg, and the stonework on those was much better than we can expect masons to do today, and we simply lost the skills that can do that sort of masonry.
These structures are built out of dry stone masonry, and it's a bit of a dying art in the north of Scotland. So we hope to create a traditional skills workshop where people can come and learn the skills of dry stone diking. The most brochs are found right here in Caithness, so we like to think that Caithness is the home of the broch. For too many years people have driven through Caithness to go to Orkney to see archaeology. They've driven right past everything that we've got to offer. So what we hope will happen in the future is people will still go to Orkney to see archaeology, but when they come back through Caithness they'll see a fully rebuilt Iron Age broch.
The Caithness Broch project is currently searching for an ideal site to begin the construction of their broch, and they estimate it could be between 3 to 5 years before they finally achieve their goal of bringing this enigmatic building back to the Scottish countryside.
They're so unique to Scotland. They're a real symbol of Scottish archaeology, and they're just beautiful constructions. You know, they're really well made. They are enigmatic, they are impressive, they are just kind of stunning structures.